Welcome aboard the BK Escape Pod. That's right, it's the augmented and bionic podcast version of the live show. You can hear us Saturdays from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Eastern on 100.3 FM and AM 1450 WBHF Radio. You can stream the show live there Saturdays at WBHFradio.org or on the free Tunein app. Look out, here we go. Oh, and by the way, if you hear me give out a telephone number, don't call because this is a rebroadcast, and our janitor Charlie will answer the phone, and believe me, you don't want to talk to him. He's an ornery little cuss.
And no sidewinding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, croaker is gonna roll away biscuit cutter.
Now, who can argue with that?
Rub it!
Stand by to receive our transmission.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
The Force will be with you, always.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Hey, it's Independence Day weekend. Happy Independence Day weekend. I know it's not technically until tomorrow, but it starts early. We had a parade here locally in Cartersville. And Alan, I saw your photos on Instagram. Nice pictures of the parade.
I was able to at least get all of them lined up in there, and yeah.
Now, there's different. Now, we got new T-shirts here.
Yours is really low. Are you on? Make sure.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm on. Because for some reason, when they're higher than this on the playback, it just seems like it's too loud. Chance is here, too. Chance, let's try your mic out, and hopefully it doesn't fall on your face today like it did last week.
Happy 4th of July weekend, gentlemen.
You're good. Not low-calorie and low salt or anything. You're full of salt and sugar and everything. It's great, which means you taste good, but you're unhealthy for me. So
less filling.
Tastes great. Peanut butter, chocolate. That's him and me. Saturday morning.
Yes, we are.
Peanut butter cups of Saturday morning. Independence Day. If you guys want to call in today and talk about Independence Day, how you celebrate it, what's your favorite fireworks? Do you have any fireworks horror stories that you can tell me? You know, you can call me up. And
were you listening to us earlier this week?
No, 770-386-1450. I heard. Well, I saw it on the WBHF.org news feed. I think is where I saw that. What to refresh everybody? What happened?
Oh no, Mike and I were on Bartow's Morning News, one of our free talks, and we were talking about fireworks safety, and we had personal life lessons that we shared with everybody of what not to do with a stupid young teenage brain.
Or to do only once and survive it like we did. It's like
do once and still have all your fingers in. Susan actually, my wife actually said, "Oh my gosh, look at the Facebook memory," and she said, "I posted this a year ago that said there are certain people today who woke up with all 10 fingers, and that'll be the last time they'll see all 10."
Well, Chance, do you have any, Chance Bartels is here, do you have any fireworks horror stories from the past that you did that you can tell everyone, or you want everybody to know? Well, nobody's going to hear it on this show because no one's listening, so yeah.
I was being a bad boy, 1985, 14 years old, firecracker in my hand, throwing it out of the back of a pickup truck, and it blew up in my hand. Served me right. I was going to throw it into the road. Bam! Blew up in my hand. And it stung for 2 days.
But you didn't lose a finger, though,
thankfully. It was probably a little
good. Well, and again, if we talk about any of this today, here's the disclaimer. We don't want anyone to try any of this. Don't try it.
No.
Don't do it. Don't come back and go, I heard those guys on the radio saying it, so I did it. No. You didn't do what the Wile E. Coyote did on the cartoons of Roadrunner Saturday morning, so don't do what we're telling you either. I used to launch bottle rockets in an interesting way. I didn't think that putting, the little rockets that have a stick on them, you're supposed to put them in a Coke bottle. That's why they're called bottle rockets. You light them, you run away real fast, go to launch and go up and blow up. Well, I didn't like that as a kid. I didn't think they went high enough. So I used to hold bottle rockets in my hand and light the fuse and watch it until it got right up close to the fuse. Then I would flip it up in the air to give it an extra oomph of a launch. And they did. They sail up a lot higher that way when you did that. The problem with that was this. Sometimes when you would flip it up in the air, its pointed trajectory would not be straight up. It would sometimes be a little, maybe at 3 o'clock, and you really had to watch out for the ones that you flipped up that turned around into the 6 o'clock position, because that meant they were right back at you. So it always made it interesting. Luckily, I didn't have a lot of those, but I never had any accidents with fireworks that I can tell anybody about. Thank goodness. Just look at my hands.
What about pranks?
No pranks. I didn't do that.
I shot off of a bottle rocket inside a shopping mall. The Cobb Galleria Mall got caught, and I had to clean up after the 4th of July fireworks the next day.
You didn't have to serve time?
Chicken wing bones. It served me right. Me and my buddy Jeff Logan
You
got
didn't have
caught.
to serve time? No time served?
No, it was 14.
Public service or anything? Yeah. We did do something crazy, though, and some people like to blow up their action figures, and I never did that because I valued my action figures. I know
Firecrackers
you
and BB guns.
Well, here's the thing: my mom or somebody in my family used to have. They get, you know how you get prescription pills sometimes in these big, prescription pill bottles. Well, someone in my family had a real big one that had held like 200 pills or something. It was a big bottle. It was about 4 inches high and about 2.5 inches like around. So it was a big plastic bottle. They had the big white screw-on caps that would lock. Well, we decided to buy a bunch of M80 firecrackers. One 4th of July. And then because M80s back in the day, they were red. They were really big and thick and red, and and they had the wadding packing on each side. Well, this one had like this fiberglass packing on each side that I could tap out. I could pop it out and pour all of the fireworks powder out of it. So we filled this pill bottle up with all the fireworks powder. It's just as much as we can get into this huge pill bottle. Put the white top back on it and locked it down. Drilled a hole in the white top of the pill bottle and put our own fuse in there. And then what we did is we buried it about 2 inches in the ground, covered it up with dirt, except the little top of the thing, lit it while it was in the ground, and ran away. So when we got a little further away, it did go off, and it blew a chunk of earth into the air. It was kind of cool. It didn't hit anything, but that's the only wild experiment that we ever did with fireworks that we shouldn't have done. But thank goodness we buried it in the ground, because who knows if we'd have just set it off, the plastic parts of that pill bottle probably would have acted like a grenade, and shrapnel just flew all over the place. But that was the one fireworks escapade that I did that was crazy. So
kids don't try this at home.
Let me see if we can go.
We used to shoot bottle rockets at each other, so we had bottle rocket wars. We thought we were Robotech.
Before we go to break, someone's calling right now. Hey, it's BK on there. Hello, so are you?
Hi, this is James Enstall from Geek Radio.
Hey, James, you're calling already.
James!
Cool. That's cool. We're coming up to a break here, but we'll take you early and we'll go into the break, and when we come back, we'll bring you back up live. And I know why you're calling. You're calling because I saw that you got to go see Black Widow, the latest Marvel movie. You got to go see. You're an important guy in media.
2 weeks early.
He got to go see it because he's important guy in media. We don't get to do that here, and you got to go see it. And you're going to give us kind of a spoiler-free review of it today.
I definitely am. It was so good.
James Install of the big KTR S550 up in St. Louis. We'll get into it. We'll take a break and we'll get into it more in depth when we come back. But hey, do you feel like I do? I feel like I maybe have seen Black Widow and No Time to Die, James Bond. I feel I've seen it because of all the trailers over and over again, but I forgot what it was about. It's so
I think
weird.
The problem is New Mutants got really lonely being pushed back 12 times, so Black Widow and No Time to Die gave it some support. It's supposed to be the same thing, New Mutants this time.
Right. Well, we'll get into reviewing it because I can't get into it in depth right now until we come back from a break. So we'll do that. Did you watch anything to get yourself ready to go see it? Did you refresh yourself with anything at all like we usually do? Alan and I do that sometimes when we know a new one's coming out.
I watch them so often anyway because, with the pandemic, I think I rewatched the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe 12 times during 2020. I read a couple comic books. I read the Marvel premieres and some Avengers comics.
Well, you'd certainly have time to do it after the whole year, a year and a half almost. I mean, 2021's we're inching back to normal, but the first part of 2021 we were still in lockdown still. So we'll get to that. We'll come back to you after we take a break and come back. James, just stay on hold for me. We'll hear from James Install, our another geeky nostalgic cousin we have on radio bookends. Chance is on with the Nostalgic Pod Blast on Sunday, and James Install. You could listen to Chance on Sunday with the Nostalgic Pod Blast, and James Install comes on Saturday night. So it's a whole Sunday night. Yeah, you're right. It's a whole weekend. See why I'm not on the air by myself? I said that last week. It's a whole weekend of geeky stuff, and we'll have more with James Install and the Golden Ranger TV when we come back.
We'll return after these messages.
What's so special about an Oreo cookie? It's a creamy, licking chocolate sensation.
O-R-E-O.
It's a creamy, licking chocolate sensation.
O-R-E-O.
There's only one Oreo cookie. Creamy, luscious inside, real chocolate cookies outside.
It's a creamy, licking chocolate sensation.
O-R-E-O.
Oreo cookies from Nabisco.
America's cookie jar.
The train! Let's beat it! Come on, hurry! We can make it! Hey, stop! It's too late to cross!
Hold up! That's a dangerous game you two were playing. Listen to your friend Chris. Those gates are provided as a warning to let you know that it's not safe to cross.
We could have been hurt. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Jarvis, a virtual artificial intelligence, and I'm here to assist you with a variety of tasks as best I can, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Importing all preferences from home interface. Systems are now fully operational.
You're listening to BK on the air. Now back to a guy who put me through a lot of pain in childbirth. I'm his mother, I should know, but I love him anyway. It's BK on the air.
Hey, we're back. It's BK on the air here on AM 1450 and 100.3 FM WBHF. It is me. I'm in here with Alan Sanders and Chance Bartels, and on the line with us, went to the break, but we had to put him on hold, but he's still there, is James Install from It's All Geek to Me Radio from the big KTRS 550 in St. Louis. You can hear him every Sunday. He's going to tell you all the places you can find him and hear him before he ends his call with us today, but he's checking in because he got to go see. He's one of those special people. I wish I was one of those special people. That I'm special, but for other reasons. I rode the short bus in school. And you know what? I have these levers in my car that have driving modes. It says normal, eco, and sport, and I hit keeping normal. I keep hitting normal, and I'm still weird. I don't know why. It just doesn't work.
Definitely sport would not work for you.
Anyway, no, it wouldn't. And James is here. You got to go see Black Widow. Tell everybody what you thought about Black Widow. I know it's going to be spoiler-free, but it's James Install talking about Black Widow.
Yeah, spoiler-free, so I'm trying to stay away from plot points as much as possible. But this is a movie that obviously we should have gotten back in probably phase 2, somewhere along the line, because one of the original Avengers is the 6th we've gotten in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a lot of people were saying, how come we haven't gotten a Black Widow solo movie yet? So it's one of those ones we've kind of been anticipating, and then we've been anticipating it more since it got pushed back like 2 or 3 times with the pandemic. It was supposed to be out last year, and obviously movies have closed down. But this is it's worth the wait, is what I will say. It's perfectly cradled in the timeline between, you could literally watch Captain America 3 Civil War, Black Widow, and then go right into Avengers Infinity War. It fits perfectly in that timeline. And there's a lot that happens to her during this time frame of the movie that we see.
Talking about spoilers, I mean, we know one thing that doesn't happen in this film is we know she doesn't die. We at least know that for a fact. But, I mean, are there any, without giving away what they are there any genuine surprises that are going to really surprise us, maybe, that you can maybe say, yes, there are, but not telling us what the surprise is?
Yes, I'd say 1 or 2.
Cool. Okay, good.
I also say, especially, you'll get little Easter eggs. The more invested you are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all its offshoots, like if you've seen, let's say, the first 2 seasons of Agent Carter, you're going to get a little treat. There's a little something that kind of references back to something there. So the more invested you are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and its offshoots, the more you will enjoy the film. But again, you don't have to be that invested to really like the film. The acting is great. David Harbour, who plays Red Guardian, just seems like he's having the time of his life, and it's a very fun character that he plays. Scarlett Johansson is so good. This is one of those ones where we finally got the spotlight shining on her, and she's a great actor. So this really lets her kind of highlight kind of a broader range than we've gotten a chance to see from her. as Avengers in these other movies.
Well, I kind of doubted it when I first, not this film, but when I heard the Marvel Universe was doing the Avengers, and then they came in with all the other movies and introduced her as Black Widow, which I think, wasn't she introduced in Iron Man 2, is that correct?
Yeah. We didn't know who she was, really.
When we saw her in Iron Man 2, and I'm familiar with her because I read comic books, I'm like, oh, they're bringing in the Black Widow. She was a rather minor character in Marvel. How effective is she going to be, or how interested in people are people going to be in her? She really wound up being one of those, again, she doesn't really have any superpowers or anything, but she's one of those that actually came to be one of the best Avengers characters in the universe, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah. She's a utility player for the team as far as cohesiveness and kind of helping keep them on the rails at some point. And you can imagine if you remove her and her character, there'd have been a lot more consequential differences throughout the cinematic universe. So she's kind of a linchpin, obviously, in this 24 epic movie creation that Kevin Feige brought to us.
Honestly, I think that's one of the charms about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel in general, is you do have a great mix of different talents. I mean, Hawkeye wasn't necessarily a superhero, and yet he is a fundamental character as well. I thought that was just awesome to be able to see somebody who was just raised as a spy, has a sense of espionage and the kind of moves we would associate with James Bond. Why wouldn't they also do something heroic?
Exactly, yeah. And that's, I will say this movie, too, does put itself more in that vein of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which was very much kind of a spy thriller. That's the feel of this one, and it's got a heavy James Bond feel to it. There's even a little Easter egg of a James Bond thing in this, but it's very well done, well written, well acted. And honestly, this movie has now bumped Ant-Man out of my top 5. Black Widow is my number 5 favorite Marvel movie so far.
Well, that's a lot coming from you. That's some pretty high praise. Well, you could say that, like Alan said, Hawkeye and Black Widow don't have superpowers, so for them to hold their own against all these other superpowered gods and super soldiers and beings and magicians and stuff, that says a lot about their toughness to be able to survive with everybody else and helping them fight. Yeah.
And you know what? Part of that, I think, we've talked about the difference between DC and Marvel in some respects. It makes me believe an everyday, ordinary person who's just trains and good at something can still hold their own. They don't have to be a god to have a fight with another being. And that's why I think Marvel becomes more human. I can identify with them.
That's true, and also when you, I always say, well, which Avenger would you be if you were one? I'm like, well, there's a difference. Well, there's a difference between which one I could be and the one I would like to be. I'd love to be Captain America, but I know I could never be that. But I'm like, no, I'd be Ant-Man. I'd be like Paul Rudd, because he'd be like, oh God, it's Captain America. I'm really excited to meet you, and I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm just trying to do the best I can do with this suit. That would be me. So I don't identify the most, but I'd rather be Captain America. That's how it is. Well, that's great. It sounds like you got 2 thumbs up for Black Widow. We're all interested to see. We're going to see it. We'll all be seeing it for sure. Also, before we go, give us a little lowdown. Give us your Loki lowdown. What are you thinking about how Loki's going along? Because we all love it.
I've enjoyed it so far. There's a little things that are kind of head scratchers on certain aspects of it, because they're bringing in a lot of new mythology from the newer aspects of Loki and the comic books, like stuff that happened after the Fear Itself storyline in the comics. They're kind of bringing in newer aspects, so a lot of people who are familiar with it from just Loki and the Avengers movies might be kind of doing the same thing and a little puzzled. But I trust Marvel implicitly at this point. They've got a great track record, and so far have not let me down. So I'm just kind of enjoying the ride and kind of watching how it all unfolds.
Well, I think Alan and I both believe that it's out of the 3 shows that have premiered on Disney Plus from Marvel, starting with WandaVision and now moving on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and now Loki. So far, Loki has been our favorite first episode and show out of all 3 so far. It really has. Not that we don't like the other 2. We love the other 2, but Loki's been our favorite so far. How about you out of the 3?
WandaVision as a show total hasn't been topped yet.
Well, yeah, it takes a couple of episodes to get pulled into WandaVision, whereas Loki, I think, I got pulled in from the very second.
Yes, I can agree with that.
So you're right. Yeah. We won't know how it ends yet, but I've been very happy with the direction. And I can tell you from a person who isn't a comic book reader anymore, not knowing any of the Loki storylines, I have loved every minute of it. And maybe it's because I'm an active watcher. And so the questions I have, I'm like, okay, I'll hold those questions for the next episode.
It's what you got to do, because like I said, they've got a track record of bringing everything around, even stuff that's kind of like, well, why are they doing that? It all makes sense in the end, and Kevin Feige has a good tight grip on what is happening while letting the directors and showrunners do their thing inside that framework. So I trust them implicitly at this point. I haven't been let down once.
Well, James, sometimes we cross the streams. You invite me on your show, and I'm always glad to be on there. And I'm glad to always hear from you here with BK on the Air, hearing from James Install, a good geeky radio pen pal, as we like to talk about. And now you can tell everybody how they can hear you, where you're out there, and find out all about you and where they can hear you every Sunday and what time.
Yeah, if you follow me on social media at Geek to Me Radio on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio. You can give the page a like there. We're trying right now to up our YouTube numbers, so if any of you are listening, go to YouTube, search Geek to Me Radio, subscribe to the page, and hit the little bell notification so you always get to see our shows after they're uploaded. And this Sunday, if you want to tune in, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be live on air with Dean Devlin talking about Independence Day on Independence Day. So how cool is that?
Yeah, Dean Devlin, he was also involved in the Librarians TV show, too. Is that right?
That's right. And if you've seen Leverage, which is a great TV show that he did, he's bringing that back. I think the new episodes start on July the 9th, and we'll be talking about that show and heavily promoting that as well.
Dean and Roland Emmerich's Stargate. I think that was their first big hit movie, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved Stargate. They turned it into a TV show, and Dean Devlin is definitely a very talented guy. James, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, and we'll all be tuned in tomorrow on the 4th of July to hear Geek to Me Radio on KTRS 550.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on.
And I think Alan has one more
One last thing, since you're going to be interviewing Dean Devlin, because BK has not seen the commercial yet, and it might be worth asking Dean his thoughts. Have you seen Bill Pullman reprise his role for the Budweiser commercial?
Oh, I haven't.
You need to go YouTube it right now. They rewrite his speech about this will forever be not just an American holiday, but a world holiday. Talking about instead of beating the aliens, beating the pandemic and having a beer. You've got to check it out. It is really cool that they brought Bill Pullman back 25 years later to reprise the role, but for Budweiser.
I most certainly will. Yeah, the 25th anniversary of that movie is so appropriate.
So check it out. And ask Dean. I'd be curious his thoughts about letting Bill Pullman reprise his role for Bud.
25th anniversary?
I will. I'll definitely ask him. That's a great question.
25th anniversary of Independence Day. Ouch, that hurts. Just a
yeah,
little
no
bit.
kidding.
It's like time just keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps moving.
Welcome to Earth.
James, always a pleasure. Thanks, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Take care, gentlemen.
See ya. James Install from Geek to Me Radio. Just check him out. He's on Sunday late. We're Chances on Sunday on
afternoon,
and I'm on Saturday. So we got the whole. It's a geek weekend. All weekend you can hear geeky talk.
It's great. I love the Sunday because I get to do so much yard work or other work, and I can have him on in the background and listen the whole time while I'm doing other things.
Well, and the chance we want to talk about too, Loki, the third episode that we watched here recently, and
fourth. Have you not watched the fourth?
I'm sorry,
one?
the fourth episode.
Yeah, all caught up.
We're all caught up with that, and I still thought it was the third, but no, it's the fourth. So great episode. I'm still sucked into it so far, and I don't mean this is anything bad. The third episode, to me, was technically maybe the weakest episode out of all of them. It didn't mean I didn't like it. I just gauging the strength of it. I'm like, it was the weakest for some reason, but I was still interested.
And it had lame in the title.
It did. Maybe that had something to do with it, but yeah, this show's running right along.
It's great.
And I want to see how it goes, because I only got two more to go.
I've watched each of them twice.
Yeah, well, good. So you really...
I go back and rewatch it before... we'll talk about it later.
This timeline and this things are going to get so messed up for Doctor Strange to fix. It's just all building up. I can see that it's like a bubbling tide. It's just going to explode of lava. So be careful there. We'll be back.
Get your feet shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. It juices soft, it gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
When you bring life home, don't tell the kids it's one of those nutritional cereals you've been trying to get them to eat. You're the only one who has to know.
We're back. BK on the air. I want to tell you about Cartersville Bicycle and Supply. You know there's a new bicycle shop right here in Cartersville. It's called Cartersville Bicycle Service and Supply. They offer maintenance and repair of all bicycles as well as parts, accessories, and, of course, brand new, beautiful bikes. Whether you're a veteran rider, you know, I'm a veteran, but not a veteran rider. I ride on and off. Or just starting out, if you're a newbie, Cartersville Bicycle has what you need to get out and enjoy the roads and trails of Northwest Georgia or just about anywhere else you want to go. Stop in and see the shop. They're waiting for you over there. They're located on the corner of West Avenue and South Tennessee Street, and they're open every day, 7 days a week, so you don't have any excuse not to go by there. Their hours are from 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Call them at 470-315-BIKE. That's BIKE, 470-315-2453. Or just search for them on Facebook. Look for Cartersville Bicycle. Hey, let's go on the line and see who's on the air. It's Pat McCormick from the Golden Age of TV. You're calling because you wanted to check in because you got a new season coming up, right?
Well, I'm calling just to get you in order there, Barry. I'm not sure, but hey, yeah, I do. And first, let me wish to all of you guys a happy Independence Day, Mr. King, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Bartell, the new guy, who you guys never let talk, by the way. But anyway,
that is not our fault.
That's not our fault.
I can't. I don't have a string behind him that I'm holding back. He can jump in anytime he wants.
That's fine. And you got to approve Chance's request to join your group page.
He did.
Too.
He did
approve.
actually.
Okay, good, awesome. Yeah, he's part of your group page now. So another fan.
Yeah. Now all I need is somebody to tell me how to work a group page. But that said, I've been in production for this new season for the last year because of the all the trials that we faced over the past few months and a few of my own. I finally got a season put together, and it debuts today. And as a matter of fact, it comes. I've timed it for release to follow your show by 5 minutes, Barry.
Oh wow! Really? Wow! I feel honored. That's great.
Does it make sense? I didn't want to steal your audience, so.
We don't want those two people that listen to jump ship. Go over there.
Wait, you said 200,000. Wait a minute.
No, that was
over the course of a year.
Zeros were. I'm hoping for 200,000 once I retire. I will have had 200,000 listen eventually. That's what I was hoping for.
Well, anyway, as I said, I got my third season of retro TV trivia from the Golden Age of TV coming out today, and assuming everything works and with that time off, and I was joking about Facebook a little earlier, that what happens when you take time away from these social media? They change everything.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Well, usually they think it is, but it's just more features. With that, I'm looking forward to getting some new material out there. There's people who've been waiting for it, so here we go.
Well, can you give us a little preview of maybe some that we might be hearing from, some TV shows you might be covering? Not to give too many of it away, but what are we going to be hearing about, maybe 2 or 3 as a tease?
Well, I'll be talking about different classic shows as well as just little tidbits or outside subjects. One of them that's near and dear to my heart is Robbie the Robot, who I'll be talking about in an episode. His cameo TV career, which was pretty big.
Sorry, miss. I was giving myself an oil job.
Also, of course, my favorite classic TV Western, Big Valley's in there. I got one on Cam Fong from Hawaii Five-0. That's a very interesting story I shared with you, Barry. Yeah, just more of the same. They're a little bit longer, not, just by a few seconds, just because I've been told by people who know you're a little short. And in that way,
well,
story of my life.
They tell Alan and Chance that too, but for different reasons, that they're a little short. So yeah. So they'll never tell me that.
There's just too many jokes there, so I'm going to hold back, and I don't want to offend.
Every one of the jokes you would think would be is actually true.
Well, that's great. I want to tell you a little Golden Age of TV kind of thing here because you're into that. Chance just did a nostalgic pod blast this past weekend. He did a retro flashback of their old radio show they did and is archiving it. And he was talking about Quinn Martin Productions, and he talked a lot about The Invaders by Quinn Martin. You remember The Invaders, right?
Well, I do.
I never got to watch The Invaders for some reason. It was one of those shows that I missed. But hearing Chance talk about it the other night, I'm like, I'm going to start watching The Invaders. And I've started watching it. And it's a fantastic show. And it's due to you, Chance. There you go.
Cool. Well, Pat, I will say this. Robbie the Robot did not make a cameo appearance in The Invaders.
Nope.
And by the way, Robbie, the robot was designed by Robert Kinoshita, who had designed the Lost in Space robot.
And you must make sure that you pronounce that name properly.
Which I did not do.
It could be pronounced in a way where, you could get some people after you.
How is the correct way to pronounce his name? So I know it for next time.
It's Kinoshita.
Ah.
Yeah, Shita. Yeah.
Shiitake mushroom.
I don't know why there's an I there. I don't know what that spells when I say
I was looking
I,
at the Shih Tzu the other day at the store.
Oh, the dog, yeah.
There's a dog, yeah.
Pat, I could never pronounce the guy that did the costumes on Lost in Space. Paul,
right.
Can you say it?
Paul Allen. No.
Irwin Allen's assistant. That's true.
Well, that's great. Well, gentlemen, thanks for the plug here, and everyone tune in.
Pat, seriously, I loved your segments. This is Chance speaking. I just think you do a great job. Your YouTube channel is awesome. Just keep it up, and I'm looking forward to Season 3.
I've loved our association. I'm so glad I get people emailing me and messaging me about the Golden Rage of TV, and they love it. And by the way, you're a great guitar player, too. By the way, nobody has never heard him play. Pat McCormick, he's a heck of a guitarist. That's something that Alan and I wished we could do, would be just to play an instrument. That'd be nice. We can't even play a harmonica. I couldn't even play the toy piano as a kid. I couldn't even play that. I can't play anything. All right, we got 11 seconds, Pat. Thanks as always, buddy. And everybody listen out for Pat McCormick. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, Pat.
Okay, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be down there, Pat McCormick with the Golden Rage of TV.
A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men.
Look at all the people. Billy, what's the matter? Billy!
My friend passed out.
Help me get him up.
Never lift the head of a person who's fainted.
Airtight.
Keep him flat and raise his legs. Now loosen his clothes and use a wet cloth.
What happened?
You passed out. Remember, if someone faints,
never lift their head.
You got it. Now we know. And knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Ripcord was an action-adventure series that ran from 1961 to 63 for a total of 76 episodes. The show's main two stars were played by Larry Pennell and Ken Curtis, who later went on to play the iconic Festus on Gunsmoke. As a skydiving team, they would jump into weekly adventures such as chasing bad guys or performing dangerous rescues. In the lead role of Ted McKeever, actor Larry Pennell became a familiar face in films and television throughout the 60s and 70s. But perhaps he's best remembered on the Beverly Hillbillies as Ellie Mae's love interest, Dash Riprock. It turns out Pennell had talent in other fields as well. Baseball fields, that is. He played on a full sports scholarship at USC, and before he even graduated, Larry moved up to the pros, playing for the Braves minor league team. Setting an RBI record and hitting 18 home runs during his first season, Pennell spent 7 seasons on the Evansville Braves. After serving in the Korean War, his contract got picked up by the Brooklyn Dodgers. But instead of showing up for spring training in New York, Larry headed to L.A. to pursue acting. This is Pat McCormick with your retro TV trivia from the Golden Rage of TV. And now back to BK on the air.
Thank you, Pat. Yeah, I've got to get together here because now I'm hearing a train. I don't know why. Why am I hearing a train now? Because they build trains right beside radio stations, and we never know why. Well, it's time that we're running a little behind today, but it's because of callers and scheduling, and it's the Independence Day weekend, so there's so many things going on. The fireworks made us late and messing us up, and what a great parade this morning.
It was
and
very
you're
good.
Wearing your 4th of July T-shirt at the studio. I think that's really nice.
Well, it was the uniform for the parade.
It form fits you perfectly. You can see all your your belly you got down there.
My belly. I'm working on that. My belly's looking better.
You're working on it?
Well, I'm working on it differently.
You're working on it. So
I'm working in a
which
different
direction?
Yeah, I'm trying to take it the other direction.
I knew Alan back before he had a tummy on him. That's a long time ago, wasn't it? No,
yeah, you know what? I heard the dad bod's in for a lot of ladies. They're like, you know what? I want a guy that I feel like is more like at home. I don't want to have him like I don't want to lose him on the beach to somebody else.
I wanted a Thor body. I have the Thor body from Endgame.
From Endgame.
Which one? Lebowski.
Hey, Lebowski. Zip it. All right, I've got the first news. Independence Day. A horizontal plastic water slide, also known as a slip and slide, set up in West Virginia, broke a Guinness World Record when a rider glided Guess how long? How far? How far do you think someone glided?
Depends. Did you have diarrhea or not?
That was the CDC commercial. Have you seen? Oh no, have you not seen the grief the CDC has gotten?
No.
They created a little animated meme and they show a kid going down a slide and a brown streak coming behind him.
No.
And it's like grossing people out. Like there was a whole thing about don't take your kid to the pool.
Slip and slide problem,
Well,
diarrhea problem.
Don't have diarrhea. Yeah. Well, how far do you think that someone went rocket pirate across the slip and slide?
Oh, no, 500 feet.
All right, Chance.
Probably longer than that.
200 feet.
2,021 feet.
Shut the front door.
That is, Guinness requirements stipulate the water slide be measured by how far a rider can travel in a single slide. So in this case, the Canaan Valley Resort, a West Virginia state park, hosted the record attempt by Natural Light Beer on Thursday, and the brand set up a massive water slide for employees to attempt the record. The previous had been 2,006 feet 10 inches, set in Jordan. We had to go all the way to the Middle East in 2015, saying, quote, "We thought what better way to celebrate 4th of July than to make the world's longest slip and slide and break the Guinness record and bring it back to the good old U.S. of A. A Guinness adjudicator was on hand and verified that the record was broken when an employee managed a run of 2,007 feet, but further attempts managed to increase the record to 2,021 feet. As an addendum, luckily, no diarrhea reported.
Wow. That's all I could think of when I read that story. I'm like, we just did a slip and slide story about that stupid TV
How
show
high was the angle to get you that much distance to be able to slide? Because it has to be on one pass. You can't just get out and go again. When you come to a stop, that's it. You're done. Like, were they on a hill?
And also, remember the Olympic events? The one where they just ski down the huge ramp and then launch themselves into the air? You go on YouTube and see those videos, and you can see them when they wipe out. Because when you wipe on that, that's terrible. Because that looks like you're basically up in the clouds almost for a while when you do that. I could never do that. And they don't even have poles. They're just free. Let's just fly through the air and have to get the right angle and get those skis up. I could never do that. But it's sports and Olympic. The next news flash. From EPI, a pair of Florida men said they feel lucky to be alive and uninjured after their fishing pole was struck by lightning while they were out in a boat. That's always a risk when you're out there and it's about to thunderstorm. Sam Bedurtis and Marlon Mons said they were fishing on the Calahoochee River near Fort Myers when they saw a storm approaching and started packing up their equipment. Well, at least they saw it approaching. They're trying to get out of there. The men said the rain had not yet started when a bolt of lightning struck one of their fishing rods while it was in a holder. The men said the strike damaged their boat, but they were able to get one engine working well enough to get them back to shore. Burgess said the incident was a learning experience, but now he has scales and can breathe underwater. Well, that's cool. He got turned into a fish. He's a superhero. He's Fishman.
Or could be in the remake of Waterworld, which we understand is Walt Murray's favorite movie.
You know, I saw that, and I didn't mind Waterworld. Everybody's like, this is a horrible movie. Actually, it's not the best movie ever made, far from it. But Kevin Reynolds is a good director. I always liked Kevin Reynolds, and him and Kevin Costner were friends for a little while.
Until that movie.
I don't think they're friends anymore. But Kevin Reynolds directed the Robin Hood movie, which he's not that great in it, but the movie is very well directed as far as the way the action scenes are set up. And the Michael Kamen soundtrack is fantastic for Robin Hood. But
Prince of Thieves.
Waterworld.
I love the line, "Thank God," when the basement of the ship gets blown up.
Right. And what's the girl's name in Waterworld that I always had a crush on? Janine Triplehorn, is that her name?
Triplehorn.
She was in Basic Instinct. Was the other thing she was in?
Yeah.
She was really the killer.
Right.
In Basic Instinct. Yeah. So I got sidetracked.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's go with the next news.
It wouldn't be big deal if I didn't have technical issues.
A deer. Oh, I saw this video, by the way, and I appreciate the woman doing everything she could to try to hold the deer. A deer wandered into a Walmart store in Wisconsin and was subsequently tackled and ejected from the business by an employee.
Walmart.
Well, you don't want her to hit another person or hurt her itself in the shelves and getting lost and scared. She did a great job using her whole body to hold this deer down. The video captured by a witness at the Walmart in Baraboo, I think it's Baraboo, shows an employee pinning the deer to the floor after tackling the wild animal in the store. Witnesses said other employees opened the back doors of the store and were then able to guide the deer outside. The animal did not appear to be injured and was last seen running away from the store.
Probably no shoes, no shirt.
No service.
I mean,
shouldn't pants be on that list?
Though, you know, where? It's a funny name. Where was the place?
Baraboo.
Baraboo. It would have been different. It would have been interesting if it hadn't been a deer and it had been a caribou. That would have been a whole lot better.
Well, deer family.
Oh, I got the next news. Guinness World Record announced a new record holder for the world's oldest living man. He's a 112-year-old Emilio Flores Marquez from Puerto Rico. The record-keeping organization said Marquez of Arturo Alto was issued a certificate as the world's oldest living man at 112 years and 326 days. He was born on August the 8th, 1908 in Carolina, Puerto Rico. I didn't even know there was a Carolina, Puerto Rico. He was the second of 11 children born to his parents. Now, he was married to Andrea Perez de Flores over 75 years prior to her death in 2010. The couple had 4 children, 2 of whom are still living. He stated his long life is attributed to Diet Coke, barbecue ribs, hamburgers, hot dogs, not exercising, and binge-watching TV shows. So there you go. I'm going to live a long life. That guy said that.
I got the last news. This one from UPI, a Wisconsin woman who has been collecting memorabilia based on children's cartoon characters, the Smurfs, at least for about 40 years, broke her own Guinness World Record when her collection nearly doubled to 11,455 unique pieces. Gerda Schuers, age 47 of Ripon, originally set the Guinness record for the largest collection of Smurf memorabilia back in 2014 when she was certified as having 6,320 unique items. Schuers broke her own record when her collection was again counted and this time numbered 11,455 unique Smurf-related items. The woman said she started keeping the Smurfs items safe when she was 7 or 8 years old, and her brother damaged one of her toys. She said collecting toys and other items featuring the Smurfs soon became a decades-long hobby. Schuers said she stopped counting her collection after obtaining the latest record, and she invites other collectors to take a shot at claiming the title. She said her collection, which includes toys, beach towels, plates, books, candy, and other items, could prove valuable if she ever decided to sell it. Well, yeah, all I have to do is just figure out the one thing she doesn't have, buy her collection, add one, and now I've got the new record, too. She did all the hard work.
He did the Smurfs. That's one of those shows that came in when I stopped watching cartoons, and I'm like, oh, the Smurfs. No.
Difference of the 3 years in our ages, because that was right at the time I was like, I'll keep watching it.
Smurfs, yeah,
it's all right.
A little behind us. So.
That was a German thing.
Yeah.
It was
Smurfs was German, really?
Yeah.
Why did they not speak with a German accent then? Chance is speechless. Let's take a call. It's BK on there. Hey, it's BK on there. Who's this?
Hey, man, it's Jeff. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much. You didn't get to go to the parade today, did you?
Didn't get my wife stirring up early enough.
Well,
sounds like a personal
cool.
problem.
You need a little help. What's going on? What's going on with you?
Well, I stirred her up, but I sure did give a fussing at. But anyway, that's for another day.
It's a rim shot.
Y'all were talking about some of this. It reminded me. You remember back in the magazines, comic books, I always had about building your muscle.
Yeah.
Had the skinny guy on the beach kicking the sand. And
certainly do. All right, you got about 19 seconds, buddy. Going to the top of the news here.
Well, good. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye. I do remember that. Are you a 98-pound weakling? Well, you can go send off for this muscle thing and be strong.
We'll return after these messages.
Clean. I mean, really clean. And it holds any set I want.
New beer-enriched shampoo, Body on Tap. Gives your hair super body, super hold.
Brewed with 1/3 real beer.
Wow.
But don't drink it. Just shampoo. Whether I roll it, pin it, curl it, or blow it dry. It gives my hair super body, super hold.
And the shine of your life. It's the beer shampoo that does it in 3 bodybuilding formulas.
That's body.
On Tap.
Sure, Sir Isaac Newton unraveled the mysteries of gravity. But could he have unraveled the mysteries of Rubik's Cube? 3 weeks ago, Judge Smith retired to her chambers with Exhibit A, Rubik's Cube. She hasn't been seen since. Warning, once you get your hands on Rubik's Cube, you may never be able to put it down. Rubik's Cube, over 3 billion combinations, but just one solution from Ideal.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
BK on the air. Hey, everybody. We know Channel Star Wars today because they're taking the holiday off this weekend. Independence Day. Hey, happy Independence Day. It's going to be a great weekend. Have fun. And remember why we're celebrating. And just because it is going to be Independence Day, check this out.
Good afternoon. In less than a week, we hope to fire up our grills and launch one of the biggest 4th of July celebrations in the history of the United States. The United States. Those words have new meaning for us all today. And whether you drive a pickup or a hybrid, you live in the heartland or on the coast, or whether you pronounce it America or Murica, we're all Americans. Seldom on the same page, but reading from the same book. On holidays, anyway. Perhaps it's fate that this 4th of July, we gotta once again come together to lend a hand to those less fortunate whose fate still lies in the balance. We're fighting for freedom for all, not from alien invaders, from separation, from being cooped up while baking bread and ignoring basic hygiene. The time has come for us to get fresh, gather the crew, and eat veggie and meat burgers till we sweat. And then let's work together towards a future where everyone can come to the party. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will fill the sky with so much light and freedom, this thing will rue the day it ever messed with us. Together, we celebrate our Independence Day. Go forth, America.
Bill Pullman is the president from Independence Day, a new commercial for Budweiser. We can play that because we got a Budweiser plant right here.
Yes, we do.
In Cartersville, so I don't mind playing that.
This Bud's for you.
I was going to say that.
Oh, sorry.
This Bud's
because Chance is the king of the catchphrases and the taglines.
Weird
That's a great
science.
tagline.
I love that scene. Anyway.
Yeah, so what'd you think? 'Cause that's the first time you've seen
That's the first time I've heard and or seen it. And I got Roku Sling, so we don't see a lot of commercials, which is funny.
Right.
That's the flip side of
I
not
only
seeing
saw
a
it
lot of
on
commercial
Twitter.
spots.
Thankfully, I follow enough people on Twitter that I saw it there.
Have you seen that yet, Chance, that spot?
No, it's the first.
That's great. And they did that again. Sometimes they take little tricks and do that. Do you guys remember when they did it for DirecTV?
DirecTV.
They did an Aliens with Sigourney
Sigourney
Weaver.
Weaver.
Made it look like she was in the movie. It was great. They did a Misery one with Kathy Bates, and they did a Star Trek one with William Shatner. Kind of just spliced him into Star Trek 6 and made him talk about the new big screen TV Starfleet put in our bridge to watch. And I thought those spots were great. I just put them back on. I shared them on Facebook again.
They were brilliantly conceived and executed.
They looked like
Every
they
one
fit
of them.
right in there.
Wasn't there a
Which was
Poltergeist
great.
one when they're in the
was a
pool?
Poltergeist, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I loved how they integrate when they mess with movies like that and respectfully, when they do it that way, it's always fun. That reminds me of back when. Do you remember when they would put what was it, Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire? They put him in him dancing in a spot for a vacuum cleaner or something like that. Do you remember when they did that?
Mm-hmm.
Like back in was it in the late 90s, early 2000s when they were just figuring out those effects, how they could do that? And his family got mad, and I'm like, well, maybe the trust or whoever owns his stuff said it was okay, or they wouldn't have done it. They did that with who else? What was the first person they did that with in a movie? Do you remember? Guys, remember that movie that came out called Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow? Do you remember when that movie came out?
Yep.
It was Angelina Jolie, and it had Jude Law in it. It was a movie where they had footage they put Laurence Olivier in it. He's been dead for years, and they manipulated audio of him and stuff to put him in it. And I think that's who it was. And some people are up in arms about that. And they're like, he never would have done that. I'm like, well, I mean, you can't speak for him, so I don't know. So
those kinds of commercials were definitely big in the early 90s with the advent of CGI right after Jurassic Park. They were like, oh, look what we can do. Remember when John Wayne was in that Arlie Ermey commercial for Budweiser? Whose six-pack of Budweiser is this?
Right.
That's mine. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
One of my favorite ones, though, was with Shaq, and it was an ad for Pepsi with Ralph Cramden.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And he does this funny expression. They look at each other, and he gets real bug-eyed.
Well, Shaq can get pretty bug-eyed, too, which is funny.
And he did, yeah.
So they had a lot of – and now they're doing the deep fake videos where they take them and like, man, that's too scary looking. Someone deep-faked William Shatner over Chris Pine's face in the 2009 Star Trek. And it basically looked like young Kirk, Shatner's young Kirk face in the movie. And I'm like, that's just too much. Someone they'll take these movies and put Leonard Nimoy over Zachary Quinto's face. It didn't change the voice. That was the giveaway. Some people get worried about this because they're like, well, we have evidence of you, Alan, robbing the bank. We have video of you robbing the bank when you didn't rob the bank. And how are you going to prove you didn't if someone wanted to frame you? I could see that happening somewhere. It's just weird.
There was a story in the news about a mom who was so mad at these cheerleaders that she deep-faked Photoshops of them doing inappropriate things to try to get them fired from the cheerleading squad.
I mean, but she got nailed.
Oh, she got caught because the IP address where it came from was her home.
She didn't think it
People
through.
that are not really savvy with the tech forget that there's ways to figure out where you're sending your stuff from.
You may think you're smart with it, but somebody's smarter than you.
I created my own fake Facebook page. How'd they know? You're still in the same house.
I don't quote the prequels very often of Star Wars, but what does Qui-Gon say when he's like, "There's always a bigger fish."
There's always
that big fish eats.
One of the few good lines.
770-386-1450 is our number. Hey, someone's on the line now. Hey, it's BK on the air. Hello.
I'm cutting grass. I didn't know I was live. But
oh, you're live. Yeah. What kind of grass are you cutting?
The kind that's in my yard.
Good. Oh, that's the best kind. The best kind to cut. How you doing, Charles?
That's fine. Actually, I wanted to mention something. I love fireworks. I love them all my life. I have no problem with them. I don't care how long shoot them, whatever. It doesn't bother my dog, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I wanted to remind people of, and I do have a pool, chemicals, and there's a shortage on chlorine tablets now because the factory burned or something.
Right.
But anyway, you have to buy like a 20-pound bucket. And chemicals are not cheap, and it takes a lot of work to maintain a pool. But if you can avoid shooting fireworks over your neighbor or friend's pool, please do.
All right.
Okay. Good
because that gunpowder, it will turn them green overnight.
Thanks, Charles, for letting us know. We'll
all right, buddy. Have a good one.
Take care. Happy Independence Day.
Bye-bye. Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that. So there's another angle that we can talk about fireworks. Let's BK on the air. We're going to take a break, and we love being here, seeing those dogs.
Beautiful dogs.
We love dogs and stuff. We're such dogs. We'd be a dog if we come back in another life, or a werewolf.
I've been accused of being one.
I made you, it's true, Mr. Potato Head. I made you. Eyes and ears, mouth and nose too, Mr. Potato Head. I made you.
And now, Mr. Potato Head's Sheriff, Fire Chief, and Lady Accessory Kits. Mr. Potato Heads, sold separately.
Mr. Potato Head, I made you.
Mr. Potato Head and Mr. Potato Head Accessory Kits, each sold separately from Romper Room.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Honest Ed's Used Cars, where every car we sell is backed by an ironclad guarantee that is so complete and comprehensive that we really don't see any need to put it in writing. And remember Honest Ed's motto, if any used car dealer anywhere in the country says he can sell you the same car cheaper than we will, then he's even a bigger liar than I am.
I want to tell you about Cartersville Bicycle and Supply. There's a new bicycle place right here in Cartersville. It's called Cartersville Bicycle Service and Supply. They offer maintenance and repair on all bicycles, as well as parts, accessories, tires, spokes, anything you want to do with a bike, they got you covered. And, of course, new bicycles. They can take care of you there, too. Whether you're an old rider, new rider, in-between rider, Cartersville Bicycle has what you need to get out and enjoy the roads and trails in Northwest Georgia. Short rider, tall rider, wide, skinny.
Easy rider.
Easy rider. I'm a wide rider. Stop in and see the shop. They're located at the corner of West Avenue and South Tennessee Street right here in Cartersville. They're open 7 days a week from 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Call them at 470-315-BIKE. That's 470-315-2453. Or search Cartersville Bicycle on Facebook. You'll find them right there.
On the Book of Foss. Fossbook.
Let's talk on the Fossbook. Say it with a French accent. Go French.
Oh, the Book of France. The French book.
I need to have your mom call in and do some French for me. Do a French voiceover for me.
You could have her do a liner for you.
She'd do it for me.
She would.
That's okay.
There's no doubt about it.
And then just to make it interesting, I'll have my mom do one for you. That way we'll cross over moms. You said dueling moms last week.
That'd be awesome.
I thought that was funny. Let's do On This Day in History today, July the 3rd. I have an interesting tidbit. Guys, listen to this. It's 40 years ago, 1981. What was number one on the Billboard chart? You guys remember Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes?
Yes.
Great song.
Right.
You loved it, Chance. I mean, you love all the stuff from those days. And I remember hearing Casey Kasem's top 40 of how long it was number one. It was great hearing him count it down. I'm like, I wonder if Kim Carnes' Betty Davis Eyes is going to be number one.
Talk about a one-hit wonder, though. And her voice kind of got on my
wonder.
nerves a little bit.
She came in on that.
Raspy.
She was that raspy Stevie Nicks sounding. They had real raspy sounding voices. Who else had a voice like that?
Lauren Bacall.
Bonnie Tyler.
Stevie Nicks.
Well, we're talking about singers.
Oh, singers. Yeah.
Well, Lauren may have sung.
Any woman that sounds like that, I'm going, oh. I'm okay with that.
Alan's like, how many packs of camels did you smoke before we came out on this date? Well, here's the interesting thing about that song. That song was number one starting on May the 16th, 1981, 40 years ago. And it was number one all the way up until June the 13th. Then that song, remember that song, Stars on 45, where it was kind of like, was it the mixture of the Beatles songs?
I love it, yes. Yeah. I have those all on 45.
That became number one on June the 20th in 1981, which is 40 years ago. Then on June the 27th, Betty Davis Eyes reclaimed the number one spot and was number one all the way up through the July the 4th, all the way up to July the 18th of 1981. That was weird.
You know why? The music video came out on HBO Video Jukebox.
No, did they actually not have a video of it before when it first came out, I guess, or did they premiere
No,
it?
videos were, well, there had been videos before, of course,
Right.
going back to the 60s, you know.
Right, yeah.
And even in the 50s, in a sense.
Right.
With live television, you could call some of those things
Right.
music videos.
But
Ed
I think it's
Sullivan.
weird how she was number one, then it went away, then she
Yeah.
came. This other song was only number one for one day, according to this. Well, from the 20th to the 27th for 7 days. Then she came back
1 week.
and completely nailed it again. And I thought this, her voice notwithstanding, I thought it was a great song. It's very catchy.
I like it, too.
I always love Betty Davis Eyes.
Can I say one quick thing about her? She actually was an actress, too. She was in a Patty Duke Show episode from season 3.
Kim Carnes?
Kim Carnes.
When she was a kid?
Yes, and she
Well, I
played
didn't
the
know that.
wife of James Brolin's character.
On the Patty Duke Show.
On the Patty Duke Show.
That's awesome. Patty Duke. Sean Astin's, is that his mom? Or is that his stepmom? Sean Astin was
Sean
adopted.
Astin, that's Patty Duke's son.
And John Astin.
No, John Astin's not the biological father. It was Tell, Michael Tell. That was a
that's
guy
right,
that she
yeah.
subletted her apartment to. She fell in love with, and their marriage was annulled after days.
See there? When I cracked this open, he knows all of that.
Actually,
I didn't
that was
even know any of
fascinating.
that. See, so
They do have another son who was in The Facts of Life. That is John Astin's biological son.
It's like having the Chance.
Does he go by Astin as a last name?
Yes.
It's like having the Chance iPhone app. We have the app. Chance is an app.
He's
It's
more
awesome.
of the IMDb app than you.
He is more than me.
Because he knows how to cross-reference everything.
I'm IMDb if you don't have a membership. He's if you
Mackenzie
join
Astin.
it.
Right, he's premium.
Mackenzie. But I was going to say, Sean had to have a bio test because, listen, he suspected that he was not John Astin's son because Patty told him that he was. And I read this in a Parade article.
Oh, really?
From
Okay.
his own words.
Now, see how we went from Betty Davis Eyes all the way to that? I mean, that's cool. That's what this show's all about. I love that. Well, on this day in history, 1985, July the 3rd, this movie premiered on this day.
Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis bring you back to the magic.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Back to the fantastic. Back to the action.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Back to the past.
It's an absolute dream. Take it from yourself.
Back to the future. Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd. In Back to the Future. Rated PG.
Back to the Future. Everybody remembers. I mean, we were joking about how far they went back to the Future. How it's, I guess it's the equivalent of going back to when the movie came out now, of them going back to the 50s from 1984. It still boggles my mind when I think about that, don't it? I mean, you have kids, so you have daughters, so you've seen them grow up right in front of your face, and it's even more so with you. Today, another movie premiered on this day in history, July the 13th, 1989. The first Batman movie actually didn't premiere on this day. Batman set a record on this day, July the 3rd, in 1989. It was the movie that it made $100 million faster than any other movie at that time. You know how long it took it when it was released in 89? Do you know how long it took Batman to reach $100 million when it came out?
2 weeks.
Not bad. 10 days.
10 days.
2 weeks.
It might have, if it was released on a Wednesday, I might have been through that Wednesday through the following weekend. But yeah, I was thinking 2 weeks in the
10
movie
days
theater.
is pretty quick.
Yeah.
to reach $100 million.
Oh, yeah.
I think even today that's
You know,
quick.
going back to the Future, the very first movie I ever saw
Back to the Future
in Georgia when we moved here, that was the first movie I saw in a theater
in
after
85?
moving in
That's when you
1985.
moved here?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Did you see it with your mother, Alan?
No, I did not.
I did. It was so embarrassing, that scene. With Marty McFly and his mom back in time. She's coming on to him, putting her hand on his knee under the table. Oh, Lord.
When I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
No.
Does that make any sense? No, it makes a lot of sense. Look on his face.
Well, another movie opened. There's a lot of movie openings on July the 3rd over history. 1991 on July the 3rd, Terminator 2 Judgment Day opened in theaters everywhere. Talk about a great sequel to the first film. But here's my problem. When I go back and watch Terminator 2 now, I'm like, okay, I like it, but I think I've lost a little bit for it for some reason, because really, when I watch Terminator 2, I'm like, James Cameron really just kind of remade the first one. It even winds up at a factory at the end, kills the Terminator at a factory again. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, he just had new special effects to show, but it was still a great movie, though, and a great ride at Universal before they got rid of it.
And I like the third one, too. Everyone pans the third film with the lady Terminator, but I liked it.
The third one is better than people remembered. It's not as great as the first two, but it's better than some of the sequels that came along. And I still haven't seen the new. What was the one that just came out? Terminator what? What was it called? I can't even remember the name of it. She's in it.
I have no idea. Linda Hamilton's in it.
Sarah Connor's in it, but I can't remember what it was
War
called.
of the something. I don't know.
Was it something? Okay, I can't remember which one it was.
Supposedly, you're supposed
Salvation.
to ignore 4 and 5 and just go straight from 2 to this one. 3, 4, and 5.
After this one came out and kind of tanked, I said, okay, let's put a nail in the coffin of the Terminator franchise, because it's really, I think.
Did you guys like the TV show with Summer Glau? I'd like that.
Never watched.
I never watched any.
Connor, about John Connor.
Never watched it.
You know, my buds over in the UK that have the podcast 60MW, they said if you can pretend, or if you've never seen 3, 4, and 5, that going to the most recent Terminator wasn't a bad thing. That it was executed. The problem is, having seen those other ones, it still feels like you can't unsee them, so you can't unforget them, and it makes it hard to watch.
I think Predator, Dark Fate. Yeah, that was the name of it. Yeah,
Dark
with
Fate.
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor
was in it.
No fate but what we make.
Yep, and what she was? Did she marry? She was married to James Cameron for a while, wasn't she?
She was until the James Cameron started working on Titanic and got involved with the woman who plays the daughter of the old woman.
Well, we find out that people like James Cameron and Kenneth Branagh, directors, they've admitted they can't have great personal relationships because their first love is and always will be film. They can't put anything ahead of that, and that would be the case. To be committed to somebody, you have to maybe try to put them first. But if it's a flaw that they recognize up front, then they can't really complain much when they meet somebody. You're on the set way too much, and you don't buy me enough flowers. Hey, I'm a director. I already told you that. I'm more into my movies than I am you. So we couldn't get away with that, could we?
No.
We would be kicked to the curb so quick. Why is all my stuff out on the sidewalk? 770-386-1450 is our number. Hey, I think I know who's calling. What's going on, Eric?
Yay! Barry.
How you doing, Eric?
It's Terminator Dark Fate.
I know, we said that. I know you got hearing problems, I know.
Now, who said they like Terminator, the third Terminator?
Chance said that.
Uh-oh, I'm going to get it now.
I got him tomorrow. That's all right. I got him tomorrow.
Oh, you're calling in tomorrow. He's threatening you.
Now, what is wrong with you saying you identify with Ant-Man?
I identify with Ant-Man because if I was one of the Marvel characters, I would be like Paul Rudd's character in Ant-Man, because I'm not a superhero. I've got this new suit. I don't know how it works, and I'm enamored by Captain America, and I'm just in awe by all the Avengers, and I'm trying to get by the best I can, and I got the hots for a brunette that reminds me of my wife, Stacy. So that's how I would be Ant-Man. Yeah, bumbling goofball. See?
I don't see it, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's just me. I mean, I'm not Captain America. I'm certainly not Thor. I mean, I don't know.
No, you're not Captain America.
Right. So I would be Ant-Man. Alan said he'd be Hawkeye because it's just we're not the.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, but that's the way.
Wait a second. How do you know? I shoot bow and arrows all the time. I've been firing arrows since I was a kid.
I don't see you with it.
Well, then you got to get your eyes checked.
Well, if Eric,
I just don't see it.
If Eric doesn't see it, then it's obviously true. I guess we just have to go by that. I guess.
Well, yeah.
If I don't see it, it don't work.
He is the
arbiter of all things, and never ever has made a mistake about anything of his significance.
That's right.
Ever.
Eric's always right.
Except for that one guy who's still alive.
Bob Newhart.
And that movie you forgot the name of. And then you said, I'm getting old.
Oh, yeah, not being able to call the radio station last week because you
not knowing how a phone works.
That's right. Other than that, you're okay.
I'm not going to tell you what happened to me last week.
You can tell Chance tomorrow. You're calling Chance's Nostalgic Podcast.
I know what happened, and I'm not going to admit to it.
Oh, okay. Well, good. You make sure to call Chance now because he's going to be looking forward to hearing from you. If he does a show, are you doing a show tomorrow, Chance?
I will now.
Okay, he's going to do a show now just so you'll call, okay?
All right, bye-bye.
All right, buddy, bye. I could see you as Hawkeye. I don't agree with that. I could be Ant-Man, too. That's the two that we could be.
I don't understand. Like, I didn't say anything outlandish. I didn't say anything like, I got to be some muscle-bound guy. I mean, the thing is, the nice thing about Hawkeye is he doesn't hit. He doesn't do that. That's not his character.
He shoots his arrow, and he's a good aim. He's down there. Stand by. We'll got more.
And now these messages.
You can crush them at Clyde's Car Crusher. You can mold a car or truck, decorate it, give it wheels, and crush it.
It's a wreck. Go to Clyde's.
The traveling crane takes it to the crusher. You turn the crank and crush it. Clyde's Car Crusher.
It's fun to build them. Yeah, and it's fun to crush them.
Clyde's Car Crusher. Clyde's Car Crusher. Assembly required. Comes as you see it, including iron-on patch. New from Remco.
Secret Agent Sugar Bear, beware! The wheat freak is after our Super Sugar Crisp.
Roger, kids. He wants my wheat cereal. It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Super Sugar Crisp.
Going somewhere, wheat freak?
Yeah, Sugar Bear. Gonna scoop up your Super Sugar Crisp in my rocket scooper.
Springtime. Looks like I've got my Super Sugar Crisp, and you're all washed up.
Freeze frame!
We're back. Speaking on the air here on AM 1450 and 100.3 FM WBHF. Let's go over to take a chance, Marcel's, to look at the freeze frame snapshot of the past in his corner of the world there, of the world of nostalgia and retro. Take it away, Chance.
Thank you, Barry, and happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. Here's my nostalgic news of the week. Alan talked about this on his show, but everyone has or had a favorite rock radio station. Growing up here in Atlanta, Georgia, I had two, Z93, WZGC, and a harder rock station, 96 Rock, which then had the call letters of WKLS. Well, as of 2 days ago, 96 Rock is back. That's right. iHeartMedia announced the return of 96 Rock, effective immediately. The legendary station returns digitally, easy for me to say,
digitally,
after a 15-year hiatus and can now be heard via the iHeartRadio app as well as 96rock.com. 96 Rock will be streaming a wide variety of classic rock, including artists such as AC/DC, Def Leppard, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, Metallica, and more. Former 96 Rock talent Larry Wax, that's W-A-C-H-S, Tim Rhodes, and Willard have lent their voices to the station.
See, and other stations wouldn't talk about other radio stations, but we do because we're a smaller station and we just love everybody, so we don't care. Right? Nobody talks about us.
I didn't know Larry Wax was involved.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a friend of the Nostalgic Pod Blast. He's been on a couple of times, by the way.
Cool.
All right, and now my old nostalgic word or expression of the week is soda jerk.
Okay.
No.
And it's not. Let's make it clear.
Yeah. Now we're not talking about a character Steve Martin played in 1979 on the big screen, or Annoyed. That's a reference to an old Domino's TV mascot, Avoid the Noid. No, kids. This is a soda jerk, which is a term used to describe the person who would make you a fountain soda pop or ice cream float at a Woolworth's ice cream parlor or a soda shop.
So you're really going way back because even in the 70s, no one used the term soda jerk when I was a kid growing up. Yeah, you're right. Unless it was one of the guys at school, I'm like, that guy's a jerk and he's drinking a soda over there. That's the way that we referred to it. It's a whole different thing.
By the way, fountain cherry soda from a real fountain with a maraschino cherry, which is an Italian word, is the best. And I got to give another free plug to Steak and Shake because they have the best fountain cherry Coke I've ever had.
And I've never liked any soft drinks with cherry added. To me, it always tastes like the cherry's artificial, and I just never could get into it. I didn't mind it when they've added vanilla to Coke at one point, vanilla Cokes or whatever, but I can't do the cherries. I don't drink cheer wine, and it's just a personal preference. It's just a taste thing. I never liked it. Mrs. BK loves it though. She loves the cherry Mr. Pibb.
I just know it's a skill to be able to tie a knot in the stem.
I can do that. Can you do that?
I can do that.
Okay, cool. Can you do it blindfolded? I can do it blindfolded.
Well, yes, because I'm not seeing it in my mouth when I'm doing it.
Right.
Most illogical.
Sometimes telling Alan jokes like telling one to Spock. Of course I can do it blindfolded.
A difficult
you don't
concept.
have to look at it.
I want the person across from me looking at it.
That's right.
Watch
No,
me
but
do
not
this.
me.
We reach.
I just look funny when I do it.
Your tongue's doing some amazing movements.
Yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. So my internet BS of the
Are
week.
you doing trading places in the cell? What about all your women? Yeah.
May we dance with your dates?
That's Animal House. Clean that up, though.
You have to.
Really clean that up from trading places. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So my internet BS story of the week is
Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand,
It's
that's right.
still a meme going around saying that today, 40 years ago, Luke and Laura got married in General Hospital.
Is it the same?
This week I saw it on
The
Instagram.
same one that
There's a
last week?
major, the same one, but it was just published 2 days ago on a major nostalgia internet group, which has a huge following, and they posted that incorrect meme on their Instagram account. No, you can't fool me. That date of the fake wedding of Luke and Laura, as I mentioned last week, was November 16th and 17th, 1981. Now,
He's really making his point on the mic, and it's coming through the mic here.
Yeah, he's banging
I'm
so
banging
hard it's
on
like
the
we're in
desk.
court.
He's passionate. He's passionate.
The snack of the week, combos. Those are pretzels,
yeah.
pretzels filled with a cheese-like substance.
Yeah, and it's delicious. I don't care what it's made out of, cheese-like substance or not.
Well, Barry and Allen,
They're
here's what
really
I
good.
do, though. I like to buy this new snack product from Snyder's Pretzels, and it's called pretzel balls. And what you do is you take the tiny round pretzels and combine with real sliced boar's head sharp cheddar cheese.
I'm
You
still
pinch a
loving
little bit of the cheddar cheese and wrap it around the pretzel ball. It's better, and it's delicious if you can handle the carbs.
Hold on, Alan. Hold on. Let me wipe your mouth off. Hold on. There you go. You liked that. That sounded good, didn't it?
Sounded
But
so
see, the
good.
problem with Alan is he can't take it into his home being married to a personal trainer. He's got to eat it on the way home in his car.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I can't take contraband into my house. What's the matter with you?
I wish this was a podcast. I wish this was a podcast. I can't say anything.
Tell me off the air. Tell me off the air.
Say one
Tell
thing.
me off the air.
Wish it was uncensored. My pet peeve of the week. Okay, a lot of people will be grilling out for the 4th of July weekend, and so am I.
Right.
So to prepare, I shopped at a major grocery store chain based in Florida, that's all I'll
Right,
say,
right.
that I like. And I got screwed over twice last Thursday.
Uh-oh.
One, I bought an 8-piece fried chicken pack in the cardboard box with the handle. Well, there's no window to see the contents, right? Well, I get home, and there's 6 pieces of fried chicken, not 8. Number 2, I bought
Chances
a
rant.
pound of ground beef, which looked fresh, pink, and ready to cook. Well, last night, I go to my fridge to grab it and cook it, and it's brown. I opened the pack and discovered that the center was brown, too, and it stank. It stank horribly.
Oh, no.
This was just last night. Now, the package said sell by Saturday, which is today. And this was last night, Friday. So how did it go bad within 24 hours?
Did you check the year? You just check
I
the
went
month and the
straight
day.
home from the grocery
How
store.
long did you leave it in the heated backseat of your car?
That's where I'm getting
Did it
to.
cook in the
I
car?
went straight home from the grocery store with the air conditioner cranking on the way there. And when I got home, I immediately placed the ground beef in a nice refrigerator in the meat compartment. So why did it go bad? I just threw it away along with my $6 that I spent on it.
Yeah, you're out $6. So
You know,
yeah.
chances are you would have been okay as long as you cooked it thoroughly.
Well, I did cook it, and it smelled so bad, I just threw it
Because
away.
you know
I didn't
the
want to
way-
risk it.
The way a lot of grocery stores will make the stuff look pink again is they will inject fresh blood onto it to make it look
and
pink.
coloring sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway, so that was unfortunate. Well, anyway, moving on.
Shall we play a game?
Sure, war games.
Remember that? Right. Shall we play?
Tic-tac-toe.
It's time for taglines. Taglines. And this time, I have some fast food taglines
Got
for
2
you
minutes.
gentlemen. Number 1. This is so easy. Think outside the bun.
Think outside the bun. I know that. It's
Taco Bell.
Yes.
Yes,
Taco
man.
Bell.
Jesus. So angry.
Number 2. Toasty.
Marshmallows. No.
Toasty. Wait a minute. Quiznos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Yelled into the mic.
I forgot about Quiznos.
All right. Happy tastes good. Or I got one you will know for sure.
Taste
Hot
Good.
Eats.
That's
Cool
what he
Treats.
hopes.
Is that the same one as Happy Taste Good?
It's
Dairy
same one.
Queen.
It's Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
All right. Gather around the good stuff.
Budweiser.
Lion's Den.
It's food.
No, sorry. It's a local show.
We're both in the same kind
Sorry.
of thing.
An
We got to do
Italian
Budweiser
food.
first.
That's an Italian food. Gather around the good stuff.
Gather around the good stuff. It's not the one that gives the free breadsticks away. Olive Garden?
Olive Garden? No.
It's not that.
In the interest of time, should I
Yeah.
All right. Pizza Hut. Gather
Pizza
around the good
Hut.
stuff.
Oh, that would be Italian to you? Okay,
Wow.
that's maybe the problem.
Sort of Italian.
That may have been the problem.
Yeah. Back alley Italian.
This is so easy. Where the food's the star.
Where the food's the
That
star.
Hardee's?
That's Hardee's.
Yes,
Yeah,
Hardee's
the
or
little
Carl's
star.
Jr. out west. Hardee's back east, as they say in the West Coast. All right. Sometimes you've got to break the rules.
Sometimes you've got to break the rules.
You should know this.
Burger King?
Burger
Yes,
King.
yes.
BK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or have it your way. I thought that one was too obvious. Almost done, but here's the next one.
Where's the beef? No.
Wendy's.
Where's the beef?
Get the door. It's blank.
Get
It's
the door.
Papa John's.
It's Domino's.
It's Domino's.
Oh, I knew it
Alan,
was
you're
pizza,
correct.
But I got the wrong one. Okay.
All right.
Ding ding Domino's. By the way, all those movies you see in those places you're not supposed to go on the internet. Never when I deliver pizza did that ever happen.
No, ever.
It's better here.
I was so mad.
It's better here.
It's better here.
You had just said it.
Wendy's.
All right.
Okay, wow.
You deserve a break today.
That's McDonald's.
And then the last one, a great little seafood place.
Captain D's.
No.
Long John
Silver's.
Captain D's.
Oh, it is Captain D's. Oh. Isn't it basically 6 of one,
Long
half
John
dozen of
Silver's
the
is
other?
We Speak Fish.
Oh,
Happy 4th of July, everybody. Back to you, BK.
Okay.
I speak well.
You think he's,
No, you don't.
You think he's having fun and a good? I think he's having a good time. Chance sounds really excited.
By the way, Scarlett Johansson has crooked lower teeth. Ever notice that? We were talking about her earlier.
Yeah, I never really noticed.
Now I never noticed her teeth.
Exactly.
So,
right on
Kirsten,
cue.
so does Kirsten Dunst. She has crooked upper teeth, and they fixed them on one of the Spider-Man posters once.
And Kim Carnes, the Patty Duke Show episode we talked about earlier, the title is Patty Meets the Great Outdoors.
That's right. Speak on there. We got when we come back. Thank you, Chance.
Open wide, America. Burger Chef's got thick, juicy, terrific burgers for you. 100% all beef. We really work hard to serve them hot and delicious, so you can take them to our work spot and make them taste even better, the way you want them. You're gonna love our burgers.
Open wide, America. You never can forget. You get more to like at Burger Chef.
Marsha.
The name of the game is Connect 4.
Gotcha. 4 cross. One more game.
Object, connect 4 of your checkers in a row while preventing your opponent from doing the same. But look out, your opponent can sneak up on you and win the game.
I won. Where? I can't. Here, diagonally. Pretty sneaky, sis.
You are acting so weird and
Connect
immature.
4, the vertical checkers game from Milton Bradley.
And now back to the guy who can actually walk and chew gum at the same time. It's BK on the air.
Yeah, but I can't always walk, and sometimes I fall. I can't pat my head and rub my stomach at the same time. Maybe that's what it is. Or is it rub your head and pat your stomach? Which
Walk
is it?
and chew gum at the same time.
I can't rub my stomach and pat McDonald. What is his name now?
Good to see I'm not the only one messing up. So.
I did that for his benefit. He's listening still.
Oh, is he? Is he texting you?
He did.
Today is, we missed the birthdays. Let me go through them right quick. Laura Branigan's birthday today. Singer, American singer-songwriter, the big hit Gloria that she had. And she died in 2004. I keep forgetting she passed away really way too early. Today is Ken Russell's birthday, British film director. He directed Tommy with The Who, Altered States, Gothic, Crimes of Passion with Anthony Perkins and Kathleen Turner. Great movie. Great, weird, crazy avant-garde director. He died in 2011. Today is Kurtwood Smith's birthday. You remember him, Commander Starfleet from Star Trek VI, the guy with the big long white hair. Mm-hmm. He was on that 70s show as the dad, and then he was in RoboCop as the Clarence Bodiger. RoboCop. He's great actor.
Great character actor.
He is great. Today is all Jan Smithers' birthday today from WKRP. Bailey from WKRP. She was cute on the show too, by the way.
I'm telling you, she's in a great Fall Guy right after WKRP went off the air. I'm telling you, it's called Spaced Out. I'm going to turn you on to that show.
Big Fall Guy fan, yeah. And I just didn't watch it when I was a kid because I hated that he wasn't bionic. Today is an actor's birthday who I'm not a big fan of. Sometimes I like his movies more than I like him. Tom Cruise's birthday is today. And I'm sorry, I'm just not a Tom Cruise fan. I know a lot of people love him. And he's okay. He's only, to me, in my own opinion, an okay actor. He's not that great.
Guys, what was his first movie?
Tom Cruise's first movie ever?
Yes.
First thing I remember seeing him in is Taps with Timothy Hutton. Was
Endless Love. Had a small
was he in
role.
Endless Love?
And allegedly he paid to have that removed from home video. He was so embarrassed about his look. He had little short shorts. He had little short shorts, blue jean short shorts, and he had a few lines, but it was a very small part. He wasn't the star.
Why would you do that? Because he danced around in his underwear in the other movie.
Risky Business.
I had to buy a British DVD. It's available overseas, not in America. Anyway.
We're running out of time. I got to go. Today is Yeardley Smith's birthday, French-born American actress. She's the voice of Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons, and she was also in Maximum Overdrive. Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive is an actress that you got to see her as an actress.
And the Green Goblin had a cameo in that movie.
He did. He was
on the front of the truck.
He was the big truck. Yeah. Olivia Munn's birthday is today. Do you remember who she is? From The Newsroom, and she played in X-Men Apocalypse as the girl with the swords. I can't remember her character's name, but she's easy on the eyes. She's really nice. Olivia Munn. Today is National Fried Clam Day. Today is Eat Your Beans Day. Okay. Today is National Chocolate Wafer Day, chocolate wafer. And today is National Compliment Your Mirror Day, whatever that is. I don't know what that is exactly. Sounds kind of conceited to me. Or is it complimenting your mirror or complimenting yourself? I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do this, but June the 30th came and went, and it's the 50th anniversary of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. One of our favorite Gene Wilder performance of his entire career.
Favorite performance, absolutely.
I'm going to play a video here. Some of the kids got back together on a Zoom meeting. You're going to hear Peter Ostrom, who played Charlie, Julie Dawn Cole, who played Veruca Salt, Paris Teneman, who played Mike TV, and Michael Baldner, who played Augustus Gloop. He's going to be on this video, too, from Warner. It's an official Warner Brothers thing where they got together and talked about the 50th anniversary in Gene Wilder.
Hey, everyone. It's really good to see all of you.
Hey,
Hi.
Pete. How are you?
Julie. Michael, nice Lederhosen.
Yeah, very nice. Can you believe it's been 50 years since Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was released?
I know. I can't lie about my age. This is really terrible.
But seriously, what do you all remember about being on set and making this film? I mean, I'll never forget, Gene and I kind of had, this little custom of every day after lunch, we would share a chocolate bar walking back to the set to do the afternoon filming. And I remember that about Gene. It was very special, very kind, and believe it or not, you guys, I still like chocolate.
Well, I probably dipped out on that one because I actually didn't like chocolate back then. And what I remember about the chocolate room scene was I would have a picnic lunch by the river. I pretended I was having a picnic by the river every day. And they would be testing the soundtrack and everything, memories. But, you guys are family.
I mean, it's kind of tough to pick one. Every day was a different adventure, right? I mean, we go in, if we weren't in the chocolate room, which was obviously an amazing set. Meanwhile, they're over there making the inventing room. And after that, it's going to be the room that gets smaller or the room that we're trapped in. I mean, so it's sort of like having our own Disneyland ride created just for us. And really nobody got to go on the rides except us.
I never really thought about that. That's a one-off ride. Nobody gets to do this except
just
you.
Us. Yep, like the boat, for instance, on the cable through the river.
And memories of Gene, being, so stunning as Willy Wonka.
And you see Gene's face and his
blue
wild,
eyes, those beautiful blue eyes.
His wild hair.
He used to call it the kaflugel. I remember Susie Kraus, the makeup lady, always having trouble. And he would say to her, because he had his hat on or whatever, and it was the kaflugel, this thing that came out. How is the kaflugel?
It's really special that the four of us have this unique shared experience which has lived on. My most scaring scene was when I was in the tube. It was so narrow that I cannot move anything, and they put water in the tube and it rises up to my mouth. Of course, I'm here and everything was okay.
And I'm conscious of the fact, guys, it's 50 years. We had a reunion 10 years ago when Denise was with us.
Yeah, we were 5 and now we're 4. But she'll live on in the film, as will we all, after we're gone. And it'll still be here. I mean, it's been 50 years. It seems to still be going strong. So.
And I was so in awe of Denise. I just thought she was cool. She was from New York and she'd been in movies and she had this incredible hair. And she seemed so sophisticated and so grown up. She was only 6 months older than me.
And I'll always remember how fond she was and how polite she was to all her fans. When we would meet fans, Denise was always, at the forefront of greeting our fans and just being polite and very generous with her time and her memories.
She'd be the last one at the table, wouldn't she? She'd be like, still signing autographs and meeting people and having photos with the kids. Very patient. So, she loved the legacy of the movie.
I mean, we're all lucky to have been in this movie, which is loved by so many people. I mean, as you say, we sit at conventions and people come up to us with their own stories. Everybody's got their own particular story about how it changed their life, or, maybe they were ill for months and this is the movie that got them through, or they used to love it with their dad, or, everybody's got all these stories. And of all the stories we've heard, and there have been many, there are that many more stories and more that we'll never hear. It's certainly not lost on me, and I know on you guys, that we were around for that.
You guys are my family. I mean, I've got family that I don't speak to as often as I speak to you. You really are. You're the people who've, known me, all my history, my, everything. So, we go back. There's not many people that have this longevity. And of course, a unique experience. I can't talk to anybody else about what it was like to be on the movie set because they weren't there, but you were.
Kind of a little preview of Willy Wonka and their 50th anniversary. If you want to watch it, you can go to YouTube, because I can't play the entire thing here because we're running out of time. Go to YouTube and just search for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory 50th anniversary, and it's from the official Warner Brothers Entertainment site. They had a little Zoom meeting of all four of the surviving kids, and it's fun to hear them reminisce about what was going on behind the scenes. Some of them, as you heard Julie Dawn Cole say, it was like an amusement park for them when they were on the set, especially when they were on the boat, because it was trailed through and pulled through. I would have loved to have been on a movie set like that when I was a kid.
I saw the documentary they did at the 40th anniversary, which is
that was good too,
really cool, because they go walk to the different places. They show the factory that was dressed up to be the candy shop, and then they go into the set.
It was a real factory, right?
It was,
a real building,
but it wasn't a chocolate factory, but they had to dress it up a little. But they went to the doors. And remember, they had to put different gates on to make it look like Wonka gates.
Yeah. And we were talking offline. Gene Wilder did his own stunt when he did that cool flip.
Yeah.
When he reveals himself in the film.
And he said if he couldn't do that, he doesn't know if he can do the character. He's like, you've got to let me do this. He talked to the director.
That was not in the script.
Yeah, he said, if I do this, it will say all you need to know about my character, about what I'm all about. And he was right. It's a genius move.
And his wonderful wife, Gilda Radner, the anniversary of her passing was the other day.
So. And they were another great Hollywood couple that we always kind of liked.
Absolutely.
So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I know that you guys may do it eventually.
We are going to be doing it this year. Mel Stewart, by the way, he wanted Gene Wilder. That's the whole point of the story. Is Gene Wilder said, if I do this, you've got to add one thing, and that was the flip and the fall, the pretend fall, the come out in the cane. He said that you need to, and he said, why? I don't understand. What point? He said, because the minute I do that, the audience from that point forward will not know whether I'm lying.
Yeah. First of all, he's got to make his cane stick in the ground and stay behind him, and he's like behind, which is great.
Am I performing? Am I being honest? Or am I lying? What am I? And that way, from the rest of the movie, because that's the first time we see him, and it's not till 30-some minutes into the movie that he shows up.
Staples of all of us growing up. I had to watch Willy Wonka when it aired.
Yes,
usually only
on
once
TV.
A year. Had to watch it. Had to watch The Wizard of Oz every time it would show on television once a year. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's the three movies from the theater that they would show on television that we all
Mine
saw.
was CBS. My third one, because my mom's favorite musical was Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
It would come out usually around the holidays, and then sometimes the Ten Commandments would come out with Charlton Heston and around Easter time. And it was like, oh, everybody, it's a whole night of watching TV.
Probably throw Charlotte's Web into that mix.
Didn't y'all want that golden ticket? I wish that were real.
Did. Yeah,
what a great
I did.
marketing gimmick that would be for Hershey's to this day.
And I couldn't find Wonka candy when I was a kid. And growing up in rural Alabama, I couldn't find things like that. But then later on, when I'd see, the Wonka bar, or Wonka gobstoppers, or whatever they make in the 80s, I'm like, oh, it's Wonka candy. I want it. It's great. But no golden ticket, though. Didn't they make some? Didn't they have a promotion once where they had some? You didn't really get it. I don't think you got anything from it, but I think they included them in candy in the 90s.
It's just cool to just have a random just to do it.
That would be fun. There's another prop from a movie I'd love to have is a golden ticket from Willy Wonka that was used in the film. Wow. We talked about film props. That'd be another one cool to have. Guys, thanks as usual. Happy Independence Day. It's the 4th of July. Go out and celebrate. Both of you, thanks for being here. Chance, everybody.
Always a pleasure.
Pod Blast tomorrow. Always good to have you here. Alan, have a good rest of your weekend.
You too,
Pet the dogs for me. And we'll see everybody next week. It's BK on Air. We'll see you on the podcast. Bye.
but that's just the beginning. We have to get on, we have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do.